I was looking at Cork and their puckouts every time. Now, this could be led by the goalkeeper, it could be led by the management, and obviously we don't know. But like every time Cork had a puckout, their full back line came onto the 21. So they were trying to create a bit of structure in their own defence, which I think is the right way to go about it. And I was looking at Waterford. It wasn't so pronounced in the second half, but in the first half, their full back line at times were like 40 yards out. And I'm thinking, if you lose a ball at the other end of the field from the puckouts, which they were doing at times, there's nothing but space in your back line. So I just thought structurally, Michael, that Waterford looked a little bit all at sea at times.
It's hard to. I haven't seen space like that in a county game in years, lads. It was. Naive would be the word I'd use. I couldn't believe it. Like if, as you say, Shane, if there was a mistake, it was open season. Like it was, you're almost like trying to play like perfect hurling. Like if they get the ball, if Waterford do win possession, yeah, maybe they have runners coming from deep and things like that. But you have to play the percentages as well. They weren't able to get their hands on a load of ball, and all of a sudden then Cork were building, and it was just so many different areas that they could put the ball into. There was kind of space everywhere. It was hard to believe kind of what was going on really at different stages in that game. I couldn't believe it. And when you look, you'd praise Waterford tactically, how they played against Limerick the week before, and they got so many things right. But tactically, I couldn't believe some of the things that were going on yesterday. But saying that, we kind of flagged this as well. They knew they were playing Limerick from very, very far out. They'd probably been planning for Limerick from very, very far out. That first game gets so much time and so much attention. And the second game maybe then doesn't get as much attention. It gets, 6 days attention, if you get me. So, yeah, I was surprised to see what was going on there. And as Colin said, like, realistically, the game was over after 25 minutes. And they made a bit of a spurt at the start of the second half, got a couple of scores back. But Davy Fitzgerald was just running riot at different stages in the game the other day. For again, another guy who didn't play a league and just hit the ground running straight away. He was just causing them so much trouble. And it's that pace and the accuracy, even shooting from outfield as well. But again, did we learn much about Cork really yesterday? I'm not so sure.
We learned that Brian Roach has franked his form from the league. Yeah. Like, he looked a good player, and the way he shut down Jamie Barron early doors, I mean a particular moment when Barron was trying to twist this way, turn the next way, and he eventually dispossessed him, got in for a goal chance, obviously didn't convert it, but like, he seems like a fair old machine. Tommy O'Connell had a bit of bother at wing back, but obviously they adjusted that in time and moved somebody else on Jack Prendergast. But a lot of people are saying, Colin, about, this is typical Waterford now. They folded up tents like they did last year. They didn't perform last year for Liam Cahill, and in the end, they didn't perform for Davy here. Other people saying, Davy, tactically, is he not there anymore? Like, what's your read on this?
I just don't think they have the core group of players maybe that like are and the players to back them up. I think Waterford, like, they have good athletic players, but like they just don't seem to marry well together. Like they don't seem to have, like, Tyg de Burka is the glue in a lot of ways, that kind of pulls them together and keeps them in control. They have a lot of exceptionally good hurlers with loads of legs, but it takes a lot, guys, to make a team, like to make a quality team at Intercounty. You need a lot of cogs to fit in places. Like you need your tough cornerbacks that are able to, kind of man up and mark their men. You need, strong men around the middle of the park. And also Waterford, like, I don't think they have enough scoring threat, from around the field, to pick off a lot of scores. Like, Desi's a fine hurler, but like, where do you play him? He doesn't have support. He's easily man marked because they don't have somebody else who's that dangerous. Like, they just don't seem to have that backup of or depth in their squad, that allows them. Like, Stephen Bennett is a fantastic hurler. He's great risk, but like, players know that maybe, that if he doesn't get inside them, like, that he's okay, you keep him outside him. Like, so they just don't have they don't have enough threat everywhere, I think, to kind of cause a lot of difficulty for teams. But like, what I'd like to see with Cork and what test where they're at is, like, they used all their energy, Cork, in running the other day. They were able to just run here, there and everywhere, and they had loads of energy. But like, you'd like to see how they cope with the energies of having to deal with hits, and see if their running game is just as good after that then as well, because there wasn't a hit in that game yesterday. It was just